Good morning everyone, and thank you for tuning into this webinar. This is the final presentation in the CareFactor webinar series, which is brought to you by the team at Bentley's Queensland. My name is Kathleen and I am part of the CareFactor Incubator Program team. CareFactor is Australia's first aged care specific incubator program, and it's going to provide the skills, resources and support for aged care startups, entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs in order for them to succeed. Today's presenter is CareFactor's entrepreneur in residence, Llew. We're really excited to have Llew on board. He's heading up our pool of mentors for the program. For those of you who don't know Llew, he is a leading digital entrepreneur in Australia and is the entrepreneur in residence for the Telstra Murrurundi River City Labs Accelerator. Personally, he has won numerous awards, including Brisbane Lord Mayor's Young Business Person of the Year Award in 2012 and the Brisbane Business News Young Entrepreneur of the Year Digital in 2014. Llew is also a seasoned and passionate startup mentor. Today, Llew will be taking us through the 8-week mentoring component of the CareFactor program, which will be starting in September. He's going to share some of his experience in startup mentoring and show how the CareFactor mentoring program is tailored to support ideas through to success. Thanks, Llew, and I will hand over to you now.
Thank you very much, Kathleen, and great to be here with everybody and hope you're having a great day. So today I'm going to be talking about the mentoring program for CareFactor, which is a very exciting Bentley's initiative, and it's one that is very new to the market and one that I'm very excited to be the entrepreneur in residence for. So we'll get started on the slides and we'll rip through them, and I'll just click the button and go to the next one. Right, so what is it? There's about 4 core parts to CareFactor, and I'll quickly touch on those, but I'll really just I want to focus today on the 8-week mentoring, which is the piece you'll see there on screen in the inside the red. There's 4 parts. The first one is the 12-week incubator applications close on August the 23rd. So we're encouraging everybody to have a chat and then apply by that date. The second part is a really important initiative, and that's the 3-day masterclass. The masterclass will be running from the 23rd to the 25th of September, and a masterclass is a really good way to start building those networks, which is going to become very important inside the actual mentoring process. There will be mentoring during the actual 3-day masterclass, but it will be quite different. It will be more structured and I suppose more networking, as I said. The 8-week mentoring will be between September and November, and that runs from week 2 to week 9, and it's a precursor to the pitch day, and the pitch day is the big day that everybody focuses on to basically showcase to the world the global scale opportunity and what they've been doing inside the program, the CareFactor program. So that will be in December. So we'll get into some specifics about what the actual mentoring is. So effectively in mentoring there's a couple of different layers. We'll start with Gemma, and Gemma basically is the community coordinator. She'll be basically the one that facilitates all the meetings. You need someone to organise everything, and including the mentors and people like myself. And she's the main point of contact when we're talking about running a program. The next piece of it is the mentors, and the mentors are specifically chosen and basically going to be working one-on-one with each of the teams to provide guidance and their expertise and give them a real-world experience of what it's like. And then on the other side is the entrepreneur in residence, and I suppose that's the chief mentor. It's someone that basically is there all the time, sometimes 24/7, providing weekly small sprints, mentoring sprints if you like, with each of the teams, and providing that critical support across all factors of how the business is actually doing. And so it's really important that those 3 areas come together in harmony, because they can't work without each other. And an important one there is the mentors are providing weekly advice, and that's a one-on-one. And sometimes it will be face-to-face, and sometimes people will be busy and elsewhere, and it might be across video conferencing platforms and the like, or even telephone. But at least there's going to be a touch point of once a week. So this is my most important slide that I wanted to talk about today, because without mentoring and without touching on these key 8 areas, and there's a couple more, but these are probably the key 8 areas that teams will benefit from when they're actually discussing their problems, their pain points, their daily issues, their weekly or their monthly issues with each of their mentors or the entrepreneur in residence. These are some of the key things. And reading from the top left there, you've got international markets. The reason why the teams will become part of CareFactor is because they have a globally scalable opportunity. And the globally scalable businesses are always looking for international markets, and we need mentors and people that have done it before. So learning how to scale internationally is very, very important. We always say in the scale-up space that Australia is pretty much the 2% rule. We like to prove things in our backyard here for 2% of the time, for 2% of the global economy, and then we get out there and sell our wares and export them and hit international markets. So I think critically, one of the key things of learning that you will learn as part of CareFactor is that it's how to access and do business in international markets, how to do test and learn, how to build networks and actually how to get out there and which countries to actually select. A second critical one that I've always liked over the last 20 years is customers. If you don't have customers, you don't have a business. If you don't have recurring customers and retained customers, you don't have a business. And so understanding the customer journey, understanding what personas are, understanding how that all fits into digital marketing and all the communications and things like that is really, really important. So learning those things from mentors that have actually done it is really, really important. Then you've got marketing and communications, which, as I said, you do from day one. You're constantly testing and learning different areas. Things are going to work, things aren't going to work. But generally speaking, you're going to be looking across digital channels, because in a program like CareFactor, there's not much time to try and test out traditional channels such as TV, radio, outdoor, things like that. But a good cost-effective way of really testing a market and testing out an MVP or a business idea, a scalable idea, is to do digital marketing and communications. But with that comes an important one that we'll be recommending and getting people to learn about, which is PR. Then there's things like growth and how to manage growth, and that could include people and things like that, and I'll touch on that in a second. An important one is pitching from day one, and another one from day one is capital raising. So it's important that we start with investment in mind for scale, and then learning how to pitch that in to various investors. But capital raising is important because you're going to understand the different cycles of capital raising and cycles of investment, and when your business is in the right frame and time frame to do that. Financials, of course, is really important, and the fact that Bentley's is actually the custodian of this program is really, really important, because if you don't have cash in your business in the coming years, you don't have a business. If you don't know how to analyse financials, as a CEO, for example, you won't be able to go and raise money. And one of those critical areas is understanding term sheets, balance sheets, profit and loss, and all those sort of good things. And the art of negotiation. Negotiation is critical in any business, and it's something that can't be trained overnight. And we start the process of how to negotiate and how to make sure that you're on the front foot with confidence with your negotiation techniques. So how would it work? So straight in from some of those topics that we just saw before, over the weeks it's good to break it down by weekly amounts, and we're doing from week 2 to week 9, I believe, in terms of the actual program. And you'll see me there as a constant on the right hand side, and an entrepreneur in residence actually joins in with the mentor, and as I said, that might be on video conferencing, that might be face to face where the EIR is actually at Bentley's, which is where I'll be, and meeting with the team, or the mentor might be external when we dial them in, for example. But generally we like to do it face to face if possible. And so what we do is we break it down by really important chunks. And what we do is every week we try and solve a pain point, and we have a matching mentor that actually comes in and gives their expertise around that. So it's a good thing to start thinking about now, is what some of those pain points you might have when you join a program such as CareFactor. For example, week 1 you might have, I need to build a great team, or I need a people and culture that is going to help me rapidly accelerate. I need some leadership advice about how I manage people. You might get someone in, such as Kerry from Advancer, that basically comes in and is an expert of scaling teams, and she'll be able to help you with your next 5 hires, the type of personalities, their strengths and their allowable weaknesses. I can then help out with some information on that as well, to give the teams the very best advice about how they're going to scale. The same goes for when you're doing budgeting and raising capital with Heath or Louise. Essentially what you're doing there is coming in and asking for the best way your business can treat those problems. For example, with Heath, you might ask for, I understand profit and loss and budgets, but what I'm really after is how to actually budget for when I do a capital raise. I'll just go to the next slide. So what are the CareFactor mentors, and who are they? So generally these people are experts in their chosen field. They'll be people that basically have expertise around funding and investment, which is really important, commercialisation, customer acquisition, legal and IPs, exporting markets, and digital marketing. You can see quite a few on there. The other thing to consider is they're not just going to be from sort of the professional services area. There'll be people that have done things in the trenches, we say. So things like test and learns in digital marketing, people that have actually written government grants, and actually done financial planning and analysis. I think an important one for this particular program for CareFactor is the aged care industry mentors, and having experts in those areas is really important. And it's not just a CEO of an aged care facility or an aged care association or something like that. It's actually people that are embedded within that, knowing the process on how to actually get your product or service as a test inside these organisations is probably the most important thing. So the one down the bottom left there is having mentors from the aged care industry is really, really important in this process, and they're going to be there from the beginning during that initial phase of workshopping. And so, there's a huge range there that it basically allows the teams to choose of the things over the period of time that they need to get help with. So broadly, how does it look? So the 12-week program of CareFactor is broken into 3 core pieces, as I said at the start. There's a 3-day intensive workshop, and that basically is carefully chosen content that we will be running workshops, both presenting style and also workshop style, for the teams and for the industry mentors and some other industry experts, to actually get the juices flowing, get the skills flowing very early on. And that allows the teams to really have a good launch pad to go into the rest of their program. Between week 2 and 9, as I said, there's an 8-week mentoring program, which we've just covered off. And the important thing there, of course, is it's one-on-one. And then the pitch day, which is on week 12, which is the opportunity to present and gain feedback from potential investors and buyers. It's something to start thinking about now. If you are going to be applying, we encourage everybody to apply to CareFactor. It's really important to understand that, it's 12 weeks, but that's not a lot of time to, get your pitch exactly right. So we encourage everybody to start writing pitches, and we'll be basically doing mentoring as a piece for every team from week 1 of the mentoring. So that's starting week 2, of course, and we'll be giving feedback just prior to the actual pitch day, and doing some dry runs as well to really help the teams out, so they're not so nervous when they actually get to the exact pitch day. So there's the 3 core parts of the CareFactor 12-week program. So there's been some great supporters of the program, and Bentleys are there, of course, and the Aging Community Services Australia, National Peak Body, Westpac, Australian Government, Red Chip. A good one is the Office of the Queensland Chief Entrepreneur, and I know we'll be using some facilities there at the precinct. which is a wonderful venue, and the stadium there for the pitching is really good. Advancer, Sprint, the venture capital, and also Painters, who are a major organisation here in Brisbane and Australia as well. So on my final slide here, I really encourage everybody out there to apply now for the 12-week incubator called CareFactor, and make sure that you get your applications in by August the 23rd. And there's a URL there, bentleys.com.au/CareFactor, which is CareFactor. And really encourage everybody to apply, and look forward to meeting everybody at the intensive workshop in week 1.
Thank you very much for that, Llew. That was really interesting. A reminder that this is the last week to register your startup or innovative project or prototype for CareFactor. Participation in CareFactor is actually fully subsidised for any successful applicants, and the teams will receive over $20,000 worth of value from participating. To submit an application, please visit our website, www.bentleys.com.au/CareFactor. Applications have to close on the 23rd of August at 5 p.m, and submissions must be received via our website. If you have any questions about the content presented today, about the CareFactor mentoring program, or about the program in general, please visit our website or give us an email at carefactor@bris.bentleys.com.au. Thank you very much.